Hey everybody, welcome to Hippie Reacts. Today we're watching Jerry Garcia 1976 interview. It's 26 minutes long. I'm probably going to jump around a little bit, try to get the best parts of the interview. But please subscribe if you like psychedelic related content, music reaction videos, and I'm trying to do different stuff, like interviews, reaction to interviews, recording sessions, and try to mix it up with all different kinds of cool music related, psychedelic related content. So please subscribe if you like seeing that kind of stuff, and comment your requests. I try to get to as many as I can. Alright, and also try to keep the requests similar to the theme of the channel. Check out my other videos. I got playlists, rock reaction playlist, or my own music videos on the playlist. And let's see what we got. Jerry Garcia, the legend.
A contemporary music critic has suggested that the four greatest musicians who ever lived in alphabetical order are Bach, Beethoven, the Grateful Dead, and Mozart, in that order. And we're delighted to have with us, however accurate that music critic may be,
look at his reaction.
with us Jerry Garcia, the founder and lead guitar and vocalist of the Grateful Dead, who's spoken of as one of the most prolific musicians today. And Jerry explains that that's because he's crazed, he's obsessed. We'll find out in a minute when we meet Jerry Garcia, the Grateful Dead, and find out what he believes. We'll see you.
Oh,
Got it?
Great beginning.
Jerry Garcia, the question I guess that the program asks at the beginning and the end, and most of the time during the middle, is who are you? And what turns you on?
What is this, TCAM TV? This looks like local access TV, which is great. Some of my best, shows are from local access TV.
And so just for a change, instead of sneaking up on you, can I come right in straight and honest and say, who's Jerry Garcia? And
go right in, buddy.
What turns him on?
Well,
what turns him on? Yeah, Jerry, what turns you on?
I'm somebody who plays music, or tries to, and I think of myself as a person who's a music student. Mm-hmm. And what turns me on is being able to play and being able to continue developing. I think that's it fairly simply. And then there's concentric circles of greater and lesser turn-ons. I mean,
did you mean? I read at one point where you said I'm a slow learner. I'm not very talented, so I really have to work to learn.
Yeah,
and to grow. And you put a lot of emphasis on the growth, on the experimentation, on the change. You said, I don't want to end in the cul-de-sac of success.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I agree. Well, my feelings about that are that there is a convention in what you could broadly describe as entertainment that states, essentially, once you have your act down, once you have it together, keep on doing it. That's what the people want. They're coming back to see Judy Garland for the umpty billionth time, and whatever. They're there to see you do your little dance, and I feel that that's a serious limit on anybody who feels that they're an artist, rather than an entertainer. Not to say that being an entertainer is no good, but I would rather think that I'm involved in something that's more open-ended than that. I'd rather not be able to see the end that clearly.
Right. And it's probably a thing of, well, it may even be, I don't know this, but one of the reasons that the Grateful Dead now are actually playing in 4 different groups, that you do this, even encourage this. I mean, you're doing solo work,
yes,
albums with the group. Partly it's explained by the cost of travel and just putting the show together and putting it on.
Right. There are other less obvious reasons that I think that have a lot to do with our attitude toward what we're doing and our feelings about what it is and what it should be. And we felt that having reached the end of a certain level of that cul-de-sac that we were talking about, that in terms of, for us, or for a rock and roll group, for a performing musical group, the end of that really is the colossal, what we call the mega gig, the huge stadium, that we played in those, and that's where we ended up in terms of the largeness of our audience, the greatness of demand for what we were doing, and so forth and so on. We felt that that was a dead end, and that there was no place to go from there, and that at that point the experience for us got to be one that was totally controlled in the sense of airplanes to motel, motel to gig, backstage, heavy security, nobody near the stage, you know, and what's worse is that it's also reflected in the way those very large venues deal with people. They deal with them in that sort of cattle prod methodology, you know, lots of cops, lots of frisk lines, lots of tightness, you know, and we felt that what we were doing, what we wanted to do was definitely not that, you know, that was clearly not it. So then it became a question of, well, what do we want to do? And since that represented the end of the line developmentally, you know, of what's there in America, you know.
Makes sense. So you're saying that it got to the point where the shows were so big, and then the security was, yeah, you know, that's the thing about it. I don't want to go to a show like a festival where it's open, can do what I want. I don't want, you know, security in there to be real strict and be telling you what to do, you know. So I can kind of understand his point.
Consistency, things that drugs won't do, that militate against. So you're not into the drug thing now. How do you get these highs? Is the spiritual a part of this? Spiritual consciousness?
Yeah, it is, of course. I mean, that's part of the whole consciousness. I mean, really, I'd like to make one point clear about drugs. First of all, I don't feel a certain specific fixed way about drugs. I think that the worst thing about drugs is that they're illegal, you know, and I think that that's the real thing that creates problems on all those levels, and that's just my own observation. And it doesn't mean that make all drugs legal or anything like that. I'm not saying that, but that's what I think.
That leads to
I think that that's what's really wrong about it, you know, more than anything else. No worse than drinking coffee, say, you know. What's a drug? You know, what's a drug?
We have drugstores.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So, you know, all that.
Yeah.
I think the thing of getting high is really what we were all sort of into at the time. The what that means is something that I can't really say what it means. I can't put a name to it other than getting high. And the people who know what I'm talking about know what I'm talking about. I'm assuming. Anybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about, either they haven't gotten high. You know. Oh, pardon.
We'll be right back.
Okay.
With you all.
What? He's making a good point, and this douchebag cuts him off. God. You couldn't wait? You had to go to the
Garcia and the Grateful Dead, and you get high.
I hope
We're just
gets back to what he was talking
in
about.
the old studio at KPIX, exchanging altar boy stories from the good old days, and finding out that even Jerry Garcia, the leader of the Dead, has a few altar boys. How does a nice Roman Catholic boy like you, Jerry? I should be more serious. We ended the segment talking about turning people on, and from a spiritual vantage point, or within a spiritual consciousness raising context.
Yeah.
And that kind of ties in with the fact that you were born and raised a Catholic. Or maybe it doesn't. I think that has something to do with the beauty in your music and your art, the drama.
You know, you're gonna cut a guy off when he's making a good point. Jesus. I'm pissed off.
I think it probably does have something to do with it, yeah. It probably has something to do with the thing of intensely wanting not to blow it, you know. I don't want to be guilty, you know.
Do you still feel that?
Oh, a certain amount, but no, not really. So I was sort of a laissez-faire Catholic. You know, my parents were loose Catholics rather than devout Catholics, and so it was the kind of thing where they would send me to church. You know,
that doesn't last.
No, it didn't. It didn't. You know, it didn't take really, and I wasn't exposed to the real heavy stuff, Catholic church, Catholic school, and so forth. You know, my brother got that, but I missed it.
Your parents, your dad left when you were very young.
Yeah, Christ, I don't give a damn about growing up Catholic.
Bother you.
Right.
Oh, wait a minute.
Right.
You mean I have to think? I have to...
Lots of different kinds of energy, and I feel that I'm essentially someone who works into things, you know, rather than... I'm not an artist in the solo or in the independent artist in the garret mold, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not that sort of person.
Follow me, gang.
Right. I'm, you know, part of dynamic situations, and that's where I like it, and that's where I feel I function best. And the Grateful Dead is a collection of people, or all people who've come to that idea, you know, all through various different ways, and it works. You know, that's really all we have to say about what we do. You know, if you want to see it work, if you want to see a situation work that doesn't have any leader, that doesn't have any plan, or doesn't, and is utterly formless, really, from moment to moment, then. And, you know, you don't have to guess about whether something like that will work.
Yeah.
We have it, and it's working. You know?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to stop it there. I think it's a good place to end it. He said that, talking about the Grateful Dead, saying about how they don't have a plan, and it works. That's cool, you know. And I heard a lot of people tell me about how they would improvise on stage during a live show, and some of their shows would go for a long time because it's just them improvising, not having a plan. And I like that, you know. When I perform, I like to improvise. You know, I like comedians that improvise. I like Reggie Watts. I like people that improvise, that just, you know, something funny about being able to make up stuff on the spot and being spontaneous. So I like the fact that he described the Grateful Dead that way. I'm a little upset with the interviewer for cutting out, you know, one of the best parts when he was talking about something. You know, you get a great legend like this talking, you don't cut him off. Let him finish. But, alright, so maybe I'll check out some more Jerry Garcia. Maybe there'll be a better, you know, interview somewhere. Do you know any other better interviews? Please comment and please subscribe for more behind-the-scene footage and music reaction videos. Peace and love to you guys. If you know any live shows coming up, comment, because I need to see some live shows. Oh, if you know any bands similar to the Grateful Dead that are touring or going to be touring, please comment that as well. Thank you. Peace and love. Farewell for now.